Let's take a look at number 4. So there are a couple different ways that you could go about number 4. One is to do this problem algebraically, and most of you might be at the point where you feel like you know how to do that. So that is one approach that you can tackle in a moment when you try and do this problem on your own. The other is that we can kind of stick to the plugging and chugging that we've been doing. So remember, you would be starting with kind of that middle number first, so numbers less than 2. My tip to you before you get started is, if you notice, all of these numbers are kind of right in the same range. They fall anywhere between -2 to 2. So when you choose numbers, for example, when you try and go and do h, you have x is less than 2. I would pick something much smaller than 2. So don't just pick like 1. I'd pick something outside of the -2 to 2 range. So maybe test like -3 or test -10, but something outside of that range. Okay, and then from there you can choose from your list to kind of see what you might need to test next if h does not work. Okay, again, you have the opportunity to solve algebraically if you would like as well. So take a few minutes and work through this problem on your own, and then we'll go over it together. All right, so we're going to kind of start with that middle value. Okay, and again, I'm doing the plug and chug technique because that's what these videos are all about right now. But again, if you want to solve algebraically, that's okay too. You should still end up with the same answer as us. So we are starting with h, plugging in a number smaller than 2. Again, I told you to stay outside of that -2 to 2 range, since all of our answers are within those that range of numbers. So let's pick something smaller than 2. I'm just going to choose -10. Just since it's very far off, but again, it doesn't really matter what number you end up choosing to plug in. So if I plug in -10 for x, it's going to be 3 times -10 minus 5 is greater than 5 times -10 minus 9. We want to see if this is true or false. So if I plug 3 times -10 minus 5 into my calculator, I will get -35. If I plug 5 times -10 minus 9 in, I will get -59. So -35 is greater than -59. That is true, okay? So far, h is looking good, okay? However, it says it wants us to express the complete solution. So I'm just going to kind of quickly check some other things as well. So you'll notice we have a couple other values where it talks about being greater than. Okay, so again, I'm going to pick a number much greater. So I'll just pick +10. But again, anything outside of that -2 to 2 range would be fine. So if I plug in 10 for x, I will get 25 is greater than 41, and that is false. 10 meets a few different ones of these. 10 is greater than -7/4, so that one's out because it's false. 10 is greater than 2, so G is out since it was false. 10 is also greater than -2, so that one is out because it's false. Okay. The only other thing we have left is the fact that x is less than -2. Well, since we already tested the fact that -10, which is less than -2, works, we just need to test numbers kind of between that -2 to 2 range. So as long as we make sure that something right under 2 works, like testing like 1, for example, then we know that h will actually be the correct answer because it covers both of those together. Okay, so I'm going to also plug in 1 for x here. So this will get -2. This will be -4, and that is also true. So because numbers right under 2, as well as numbers much less than 2 work, that is why h is our correct answer.